Oh,
Hi, everyone. This is Jackie Cooper with the Blockchain Legal Institute and Patrina Pilton Smith with the Business of Charity. And we're back for another little 15 minutes of what's happened this week. And actually, there's been a lot that's happened this week. I mean, from the Blockchain Legal Institute announcements, I don't know if this was live last week or not, but I guess I'll share from the crypto blockchain DeFi conversation cruise that's happening in November. We now are able to book the cabin. So definitely everyone who's interested in attending, getting continuing education credits, definitely do that. Oh, continuing legal education credits. That is coming to Blockchain Legal Institute. I am so excited because actually, I know that we are creating classes, both Patrina and myself, but others are also creating it. And we were, meaning the Blockchain Legal Institute, was just approached by a major continuing legal education company to do a partnership with where we would be creating content for this.
yay.
And that would once the agreement's in place, allow us to have the content licensed within 47 states. So that is phenomenal. Again, more coming on that, but that just actually was my breaking news from yesterday. So I'm really excited to share that because it's something that's been in the works, and Matt Rogers, my co-founder, and I, and Patrina, you and I have talked about this.
Mhm.
Really excited. Before I hop over to you and the news of the week, I do want to just share on our cruise, we have panels, and we are going to be nominating companies and individuals for awards. So the list of nominations for those awards are going to be shared starting next week. The panels include women in technology, building dApps on the blockchain, beyond cryptocurrency, boomers in the blockchain, mental health in the blockchain, DeFi, democratizing finance for all,
Oh, cool.
cybersecurity and risk management in the age of crypto. Again, we have 27 major panels, and we're lining up speakers right now. So definitely, if you are thinking about trying to either speak, definitely, make contact, but also if you want to attend, definitely reach out because we
Yeah.
have special prices on the cabins until March 1st.
Okay.
Anytime that you're on a cruise, there's always different levels and rates. And so the first block of cabins are always prime in terms of the prices. So it's definitely something if you want to, put your hat in the ring, so to speak, and book a cabin, definitely do it. I'm really excited about this, but I'm going to bounce it over to you for a second because you are rattling off so much that's happened this week. And I kept saying, save it for when we're on live.
Right.
So now it's your time.
Hi everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm hoping it's been an amazing week. If it's been like my week, it was crazy. I submitted 4 grants yesterday for a 4 different clients, all same funding stream, but they all kind of do different things, so it worked out. But I didn't sleep for like 3 days, literally.
You're really
Like
hard to reach.
today was the first day that I literally slept like a whole night in like a week. So, um, but as Jackie was saying, I was looking at and preparing for today, and I found some really interesting information. So. One of the things that I saw is that Disney has just put $1.5 billion into agreement with Epic. I can't remember the name of the company, but it's a company named Epic that basically they're going to create a metaverse similar to or in partnership with Fortnite. And I thought that's amazing when a company will start to put that level of money into creating obviously products and services. So that tells you that, it's here to stay. The rest of us need to jump on board. But
Well,
we're,
I'm going to interrupt you for a sec because, for many of you know that I'm teaching. And so I was doing some email surfing on,
uh-huh.
teachers just like everyone else, get a lot of emails background. All of a sudden I saw the parks and planning in my
Mhm.
county. And well, actually, no, that's not what triggered it. On the face page of my county, I saw
Mhm.
all these children in these 3D headsets.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I thought, what are they doing? Why don't I
Right.
know about this? You
Right.
know, because
It's 'cause
this
it's
is
in your backyard,
it's
right?
my backyard. What's going on here? And then I saw the brand name. So, anytime that, product is branded, you take a look, and then I
Uh-huh.
typed in the brand name. And what popped up was the park and planning part of our county. They actually, I guess, had invested in this company, or maybe not invested in this company, but are using this company
Mhm.
because what they're doing with the history and the cultural preservation
Mhm.
within the county, they're putting it into videos, but they're using the 3D headsets, the virtual
Oh.
reality. So if kids can't go to the historic homes,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
places around the county, they
Mhm.
can have a walking tour. So it's a live museum
That's
of
cute.
the it's huge
It
because
is.
this virtual reality is now being used in ways to educate and preserve the culture. So it's just like there's so much. You talk about metaverse.
Mhm.
There are, and I've been looking at trying to teach in a metaverse. There's so many different styles, and some of it's kind of robotic, and some of it's
Mhm.
very, engaging. So it's going to be interesting to see how they develop this,
Absolutely.
and if they then have spin-offs in the
Mhm.
various. So instead of just going to the park, you're actually going to this metaverse now, and I wonder what they're going to charge for tickets to go
Right?
into the metaverse and what sort of rides they're going to
We'll
have.
see, right? Oh my gosh, that'll be so cool.
Yeah,
Okay, so but I'm always gonna throw this nonprofit side in here, right?
yeah,
So
go for
now we're looking at how can we use this as a tool in education for children who can't afford to go to these places, who can't afford to leave their communities, but now you can do this immersive education on something that will allow them to actually stand in front of, the Washington D.C.
Yeah, yeah,
memorials and
yeah.
Library of Congress instead of having to, try to raise the money. Obviously, nothing is going to replace the actual experience, but I think this is going to be a great way for organizations, education, nonprofit, to also do this kind of work. So,
So,
hey,
tied to that, another brand
hmm
announcement, Blockchain Legal Institute has many different hats. And so we're kind of creating another hat. We're
hmm
creating a nonprofit hat. And, Patrina's going to be involved with, working on
yeah,
that. But what you're saying though, is the idea of these immersive experiences. And through whether it's the Bitcoin Cinderella books, which, take place all around
hmm
the world. The Bitcoin Cinderella and Seven Dwarfs is in El Salvador, and the next book's going to be in Bermuda. The idea of the immersion
yes,
from the storytelling perspective, I think, is going to really be phenomenal because it's the next level of storytelling, of filming.
hmm hmm
I agree with you from the historic perspective. And that's, again, I'm going to go back to Bitcoin Cinderella because a lot of it is historic, but then you overlay the tech side. I'm looking forward to using the branding of the BLI's nonprofit
yes,
to step into that space to see what
hmm
other public-private partnerships can
hmm
be had. And so anyone who's listening to this, I welcome you to contact me about that because this is the type of thing that when Ariana, my daughter, and I went to Africa and we went on all these safaris, which were just wonderful. That was an experience that
hmm
um, was magical. And then you think about what happened during COVID, and a lot
yes,
of travel companies, they had, and countries, they
yes,
had virtual tours of their community because
hmm
they wanted people to remember what it was that people wanted to travel when we couldn't travel.
right,
So,
exactly.
so now we have all this tech.
hmm
We can actually incorporate that into travel business,
hmm
those that can't travel, but
hmm
still, have, and even on a simple level, we have these video cams at the zoos. So you
right,
can see the panda bear, you
right.
can see, so there's so much that's
A
overlapping.
whole different world. Imagine where we're gonna be in like 10 years. So,
It's
because things are just changing literally every day.
Mhm.
that I think where we are right now is going to look totally different than even 10 years from now. So,
So you
but
had some other news you wanted to share too. Some we were
so I
talking
did.
positive now, and now I think that there might be some not so
So
positive.
kind of negative. So interestingly enough, one of the things that has popped up is that the U.S. Treasury has said that they're seeing more illicit use of cryptocurrency, and so I was kind of chuckling because I was like, while the rest of us are still trying to get here. The criminals have already figured it out that it's a great resource and tool for them to use. So, obviously, if we're seeing that level, and when I say that, we're talking about millions of dollars of transfer that they're talking about. We're not talking about chump change. And so, with that being the case, obviously, that means that there are going to be more regulations put into place on this. But sometimes, I'm always one of those people, let's keep the least amount that we can do. But sometimes you need some structure in there. And so, it'll be interesting to see where that goes in the next couple of years.
Well, I think that tied to that, it's not just about the criminals using the crypto. Obviously, we have to make everyone aware on how to protect
Yes.
what it is that you're doing. There's two
Uh-huh.
sides to always. There's the,
Uh-huh.
the prevention side, the
Uh-huh.
education awareness side, and then okay, then you have something that's gone wrong, and then you have the collection side.
Uh-huh.
So, again, full disclosure, my credit card this week got hacked. So I
Oh,
had
I hate that.
I know it was a pain. But, again, it's no different from a credit card than a wallet. The only difference
Absolutely.
is with a credit card, you call your credit card company and say, close down, give me a new one. With the wallet, we don't have that same sort of protection.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
then have to go through a lot of hoops in order to try to collect or find where it
mhm,
ended up. So I think from a legislation perspective, maybe that's where we need not so much on the control of who's
mhm,
doing crypto, because that to me, I think is, there should be more freedoms allowed there. But how do you collect? How do you
mhm,
trace? How do you, how do you, uh, make it more difficult for the criminals to do what they're doing. They know that because of it being anonymous, that it's
mm,
a
mhm,
lot of um, energy. That's the not
mhm,
the best word, but basically a lot of resources
mhm.
in order to track them down and get them. And if
Right,
you don't have those resources, then more than likely people are going to say, I lost it.
right.
But really, that's where I think we need the protections. We need more, even though it's a decentralized space and you
Mhm,
want to have that freedom of decentralization. I think that and there are a lot, I don't want to give the impression that there's not communication between parties, because there are,
mhm,
the exchanges are talking and they are doing things that are, proper. But
mhm.
I think maybe that's the area. What other news do you have?
So one other thing that I noticed was that Binance is partnering with the EU to do space around some of this prevention and safeguarding. And it's kind of interesting because I went with my father last week and a couple of my church members. One of the local banks talked about banking fraud in general. And unfortunately, cryptocurrency was up there and they didn't do any work around talking about what that meant. So it made it look like to me, I walked away with the idea that that meant stay away from cryptocurrency altogether. So I think the other thing that's going to have to happen in this space, and that's one of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm preparing my classes, is that we're going to have to do a little bit of education so
Yeah.
that people will understand that it's not a bad thing. It is a thing. And just like anything, there's a good and bad that goes with it. So, something to kind of wrap up this week as I've gone through the different news articles. So,
No, I agree with you. Every tool can be used for positive or it can be used for negative. And so
mhm,
really, we just need to figure out the areas to put in place. And for those who might not realize why I'm kind of putting my hand down below, is my dog's here. And
the
so
dog.
I'm trying to have her not hop on my lap and be part of the live stream. So, but eventually I know she's going to.
He
So
said she's home.
she's home. She's home. Exactly right. Exactly right. So we have a lot of things that are going to be popping next week for sure. I know
Yes.
that We're working on the launch of the on-demand classes within blockchain legal. So that's really exciting. We are also going to be announcing more of the speakers for the March 21st global event. I'm looking at my 3 panels right now. It's really, really amazing. I mean, we have um, individuals, I'm not going to name them just yet, but I'll tell the continents and the countries. We have individuals from Mexico, from Sweden, from the United States, from UAE. We have also individuals from El Salvador, from Serbia, from Cayman Islands, from Bermuda, from
Mm.
Kenya, from Canada, from so, I mean, that's as far as my neck can turn to see all the names on the board that have confirmed. I mean, it is going to be phenomenal in terms of the content, both in terms of real world asset discussion as well
Mhm.
as the finance side and economic zones and how blockchain is impacting and integrating within, as well as just some of the legal areas in terms of regulations and some of the challenges that regulations.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I know that one person who I spoke with this morning has two different companies. And again, the laws sounded good, but now it's really having a major impact on implementation.
Hmm. Exactly. So, what's the practical aspect of it?
Mhm.
That's always the thing. It sounds great in theory, but then you have to put it into practice. It's
That's
something
true in
totally different.
education too. I mean, I see
Yeah,
it as we
everywhere.
are, trying to roll out curriculums, at elementary schools, and then we realize, oh, is this really age and developmentally appropriate? Or, know, what?
Hopefully, it was before you bought the books, because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that we're not even going to go there.
Lord, okay. See the things that happen.
You have to be in the system to know the system.
Ah.
But I do love public education. I'm a product of public education. I've gotten all my degrees, and I'm really, I try to inspire the kids to think beyond the box and to reach
Mhm.
beyond. So I see we've reached our 17 mark again. It's
As
amazing.
always.
Yeah, I know. We're really trying to strive for the 15, but we keep missing that mark. Well, Patrina, have a great week, and I
You
know
too.
I'll be chatting with you, throughout. For everyone
Yes.
who's listening, always be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We are all interconnected. We're all part of one world, and soon I hope to see each of you maybe at ETH Denver, at Consensus, at Bitcoin Nashville. There are so many conferences coming up. I'm really excited about seeing everyone in person. So, everyone, have a great week.
Bye.